Good morning, everyone. Welcome. I'm so excited today to be interviewing a Meet to Marry, Get Unstuck in Love success story. Rossella. Yay, Rossella. I'm so happy that you're with me. Everyone meet Rossella. Rossella has amazing news. Rossella did all the work to shift to get to where she is today. And she met her soulmate. She met her soulmate, Randy. Rossella she's a single mom. She divorced. She has three grown kids. 30, how old are your kids?
They're
20,
30,
30,
30,
right?
27, and 26.
And Rosella is a hairstylist, and she's from New York. I'm from New York too. Yay, New York. Rosella, thank you so much for being with me to share your story with everyone.
hmm it's a pleasure.
So excited. I'll never forget the day we met and what that was
Yes.
like. So let's start at the beginning. Rosella, share with everyone like what your dating life was like when we met, like before, what your love life was like.
Oh, so my dating life. Every guy that I met was, they were just like they were so like inconsistent, I could not, I thought something was wrong with me because I was like, what's wrong? Why am I attracting these people? So my dating life was so horrible.
Yeah.
Horrible. Yeah. I could not find someone that was on the same page with me, or it was just, I never had that, like that, um, how do you say, I was never secure with them. It was always like, I felt like something was going to happen.
Right.
So yeah,
And
that's what it was like.
and it's awful. It feels terrible, doesn't it?
Yeah, horrible, horrible feeling.
And you're divorced too. And your marriage was also like pretty.
Yeah, my marriage was very toxic. We were married for 23 years and I'm divorced now 8 years. But
Okay.
we had good times, but he was also like very verbally abusive. So yeah, it was toxic at one time. It was like, okay, I have to be in this marriage because I have to be. But yeah, it was horrible.
Right. So you stayed really for the kids, right?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. And so when you came to me, really, how were you feeling? Like, what were you thinking about men and love and you know?
Oh, so I was really at my down point because I just did not want to be alone anymore. I'm not made to be alone. There's a lot of women that love to be alone, but not me. So, and when I came to you, it was just like I just couldn't take it anymore, and I thought something was wrong with me, and I felt like, why am I attracting all these men? Why can't I find someone? I see so many people so happy, and I'm like, what's wrong with me? Why am I so different? So yeah, I was really depressed. I was really at my low point.
Yeah, yeah. Many people feel that way. I remember feeling that way myself. And then we met, and I don't even remember. How do we find each other?
I don't know. I just clicked the button on Facebook, and here you are.
Right. So it's very spiritual how we came together. And very
Yes.
often we find ourselves in patterns, and it goes back to childhood, things that are unresolved. So then you came to me, we started working together. And what was like, obviously, there was a lot that we did, but what was there were a couple of big turning points for you. Do you remember what stuck out for you about like what you learned and about what your big breakthroughs?
Right. So when we did by blind spots, because we did that first, and what stood out for me was that you let me see that there was nothing wrong with me. It was just the way I felt about myself and my childhood and the abandonment issues that I had, and I was attracting men that were doing that same exact thing to me. So you helped me see how like I deserve, I have to believe in that, and I had to change my whole way of thinking. So yeah.
Yeah, that's right. We have to change our way of thinking. But do you notice how maybe before you were thinking at some level, well, maybe I do deserve, and then you go kind of back and forth. I deserve, I don't deserve. Is there something wrong with me? Right?
Right. Yeah, so like I kind of believe, like I would say to myself, yeah, I deserve better, but did I believe it? Maybe I didn't, because I was just attracting the same type of men, but different faces.
That's right. And that's why it's like Groundhog Day. It's like, I'm a good person. I'm a loving person. Why do I keep attracting this kind of person? So there's obviously more under the surface that needs to be handled. And
Mhm.
you did. You handled
Yes.
it so
Yeah.
well. And what did you notice too that was different once you had the breakthrough and we created your vision? Then you started dating. What did you like the most about the dating process in this new way?
Oh yeah. So I was watching myself, like it's almost like an out of body experience. It was so weird. Like and I was noticing so many things about myself, like, like, why am I feeling this way? And I've dated like several guys, and even dating them, I still felt insecure. And I was like, why am I feeling like this? And yeah, that's what I've noticed about myself. Like, I would see myself and try to correct that, you know? So yeah, I had to do a lot of parenting.
A lot of parenting. Right. So for those of you who are watching, we have a process called empowered dating, and we do that in dating camp. And I call it dating camp because it's fun, because you're in the driver's seat of your dating. And what was different about the kinds of men that you were dating as an empowered dater versus like before?
So yeah, so the kind of men that were coming, that I was, they some of them were still, like, still like wishy-washy. That's what I call it. um
Right.
and right away, like, I would just weed them out, like, okay, you're not it. You're not it. So even to the point where I was dating someone for, like, as you know, I was dating someone for 4 months, and even with that, I knew there was something not going right with this. And I just kept, saying to myself, maybe he'll change. But then I was thinking about my empowering statement saying, don't we don't date or marry potential. So I'm like, why am I doing this? So yeah. And it did hurt, um when I stopped talking to him, but it didn't I didn't feel bad about it. That was the difference, because my old me would probably be crying and get all depressed, but I didn't. So that I was proud of myself
Right.
with
That's
that.
very empowering. And the other thing I'm hearing is that you didn't waste a lot of time. I know in the old days, I would have moved in with the guy, right? I'll change him, I'll fix him, it'll work itself out. But at the end, what was interesting about this is that he was definitely a he was really, but he did have things that were unresolved in his life,
Hmm.
right? That were kind of
Yes.
right. But he was a quality person. Now, let's fast forward. So we learned how to create a pipeline. We never date or marry potential. We're doing the inviting, we're doing the creating. We understand who we really are. And then then you met Randy, right?
Yes. So it was, so one night I was like, oh, this is ridiculous, because I'm only on one dating site. That's all I was restricted to. I'm like, this is ridiculous. These are the same guys that were on here 6 months ago. So I'm like, there's got to be somebody out there. So I took my time, and I was reading everyone's profile.
And so Rossella, because of her religion, she's on one particular website, right? Okay.
Right.
And then what happened? Yeah.
So yeah, so on this one particular website, dating site, there was the same guys were on there for like the past 6 months.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is really ridiculous. I'm like, I can't, I don't see anybody here. So it was one night, or actually one morning, it was 1 o'clock in the morning. I couldn't sleep. So I'm just going through my profile, and I came across Randy's profile. He had no picture up, and he was dating someone for 4 months, and he had hidden his profile. But that night he re-put it. He re-put his profile because things weren't. He's like, there was no spark with this girl. So he
Right.
put it on, and I happened to see it. So I read it, and I set my thing, like, I enjoy reading your profile, check mine out, and if you like it, we can get in touch.
Right.
He got in touch with me right then and there. This is at 1 o'clock in the morning. So he got in touch with me right then and there, and he put his picture, because he had no pictures up. And I didn't put my pictures up because it was just right after it happened with the other guy. So I was
Right.
still like, kind of like, I don't know what to do,
Right. Right.
So he put his picture up, and I was like, oh, so I put my picture up. So he thought that this was all computerized. He thought it was. He thought it was something with the dating site, wanting him to stay on. So then we started talking, and he told me that his sister lives in New York. So we just hit it off at 1 o'clock in the morning. So every night when we talk, we try to stay on from 1 o'clock in the morning to say happy anniversary.
Oh,
Yeah. So, and then, one thing that stood out with him was that he his profile, he seemed so kind.
mm,
I'm like, oh,
yeah.
this is the kind of person I really would like. Was I attracted to him the very first time? No. I said, maybe. I was like, but I have to, like, just see who he really is, because my thing was, my old me was, I had to be attracted, like, right away. Like, they had to be like super gorgeous. But he, even though he is really, really handsome, I just wasn't attracted to him right away. But
Yeah.
his personality and the way he was just talking to me, it was just, I was like, wow. I was like, I really want to get to know him more. So
Yes. Oh, so it goes to show that when we're open, our heart is open and we're clear, because Rosella had a very clear vision, right? She was able to reach out and see, and also get complete from the other relationship. So then let's fast forward. So you're talking, and you also, so what's the best part? You share religious values, right?
yes, religion, values, all our goals. We're on the same page regarding financial stuff, and yeah, and we're on the same page about everything. He has two children. They're younger than my children, but my old me would be like, I don't want to raise anybody's children.
Yes,
But
yes.
now with the new me, I'm like, I have so much love to give. Why not?
Me
So,
too.
and they're amazing kids. He has amazing kids, and he met my kids, and he loves them. And he even said to me, because my 26-year-old son still isn't married, and he still lives at home. And he said to me, he goes, if he ever needs a place to stay, he's always welcome here.
Mm.
So I'll be moving to Tennessee.
Yeah. A New Yorker moves to Tennessee. There you go. Oh,
Yeah, 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 yeah. So, and everything is falling into place with our engagement. I mean, everything. I mean, we just got engaged, and we got almost all the major stuff done, and
yes.
everything was open to us. Like,
Oh,
everything opened up to us. The
right.
venue, the music, the photographer, everything. They're all free that day.
That's amazing. So when's the big day?
July 3rd.
July 3rd. Oh, and is it going to be in New York or Tennessee?
It's going to be in New York. So my thing was, because I love the beach and I wanted a destination wedding.
Yeah.
But then he said to me, he goes, your family is from New York. He goes, not everyone's going to be able to come. He goes, let's look around here. So from Tennessee, he started looking at state parks with,
Oh,
and we found a beautiful beach. It's like a state park on the beach, but it has a beautiful catering place
oh,
indoors. So we will be getting married on the beach.
oh, how
Ye-
beautiful.
Yeah. So he made everything happen.
Wow.
That was my vision. My vision board was to get married on the beach, and to have a wedding on the beach. And this is exactly what I'm having.
Oh. And how do you feel? What's really special about how you feel when you're with him? Because you spent a lot of time with him. Yeah. How do you feel
Yeah.
with him?
Oh my gosh. I feel. not that I wasn't whole before,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I feel whole. Like for the first time in my life, I don't feel like something is missing, or when you get that horrible feeling inside your gut and you can't pinpoint what it is. I have not that. I don't have that feeling whatsoever. Like
Right.
I just feel so secure with him. Like he just makes me feel so loved and so he will do it. He'll like even when we talk to the people, like the photographer or the DJ guy, he goes, talk to Rosella because whatever she wants, I want.
Oh, that is so
So
sweet.
yeah, he's just so loving, so
Oh,
loving.
and it's
And
sort
he's
of
so
like,
funny. He's so funny. He just makes me laugh all the time.
oh, and what are some of the things that you're most excited about for the future being together?
Okay, so with his line of work, he owns his own trucking business. So he he doesn't work so many hours. So that's great. He
Yeah.
doesn't need to work so many hours. And he told me, he says, and you don't need to work if you don't want to, but if you want to, yeah, you can work. And so yeah, so with his line of work, we're able to travel a lot and we're able to go back and forth. Like, well, I'm not selling my house here. So we're gonna come back and forth, go to Tennessee, come back because my kids are here in New York.
Yes.
So yeah, so he's gonna help me out with all that stuff. And we have spiritual goals, like to help other people learn about spiritual things and stuff like that. So yeah, we have all those goals in mind and lined
Oh,
up.
and that's what empowered dating really is that you're having these meaningful conversations, and the dating actually is the beginning of that relationship. Like we don't
Hmm.
hold anything back. Oh,
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, yesterday I went dress shopping. I
oh,
found a beautiful wedding gown. And
oh,
it's like a beachy wedding gown. And the girls, I have 5 girls in my bridal party. So
oh,
it's my daughter. She's going to be my maid of honor. My sons are going to walk me down the aisle.
oh,
Yeah. And it's my daughter, my daughter-in-law, his daughter, my sister and his sister. So it's like really all like tight family thing.
oh.
It's so amazing. It's so beautiful. I got all emotional today just thinking that my kids are going to be all part of this.
Oh, that is so wonderful. Well, that's what it was about. Your vision was for family. It really
Hmm.
was. And I just want everyone to know that when your emotional needs are met, you always just feel really great because you can talk with your partner about anything. I'm married almost 18 years, and our dating is a reflection of what it's like today. It's really very, very sweet because
Yeah,
Rosella,
and that's the thing. We talk about everything. One time we were on FaceTime for almost 5 hours.
right. And
5 hours. People are
and
looking at us like, what do you say in 5 hours? I was like, wow, we touched every single aspect of our life.
including family, financial, spiritual, right? We talk about everything from the beginning. And because Rosella healed herself, she got to wholeness. She had a lot of trauma from her childhood, right? And we grow up
Hmm.
chronologically, but not always emotionally. So now she's able to really know and recognize what she wants,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah. And I'm able to like voice myself. Like if something doesn't sit right with me, before I would just hold it in and, be like a little baby about it and not talk. But now I feel like, and he's okay. He's okay if I say something. So that's what makes me feel good too, because he understands me, he gets me and I get him.
That's
So,
then that's a conscious relationship, one where you can share, not from a place of yeah.
mhm,
That's why there's such a high
yes.
divorce rate. And very often, if we don't do the healing work, then we continue attracting wrong people, and then we try and express our needs to them, but they won't meet those needs. So everything has to be aligned.
Yes.
Stella, I want to acknowledge you because you did the work to get
Hmm.
here.
I did the work. And even though, like with the other relationship, it didn't work out, but it was like for the best. I just needed to see that to understand what I was missing.
That's right. That's right. And the other relationship, he was a good guy. It's just that he couldn't deliver. But it
No.
wasn't like he was emotionally unavailable. He just had a situation that was kind of unworkable, and you didn't waste a lot of time, and you were still treated
Mm,
very well. It was like a good taste, right?
yes.
Oh, Rosa, I'm so proud of you. Really, you did the work.
Yes.
What do you want? And Rosella invested in herself. She did. She's a hairstylist. She was a single mom. She had a lot of responsibilities, but she got very, very committed to her future so that the next 10, 20, 30, 40 years that she was positioned to be in a healthy relationship. So,
Mhm.
Rosella, what do you want people to know about investing in themselves and getting help? Right? Because sometimes people have all these ideas about it. What do you want them to know now that you're here?
Well, it is so, so important to invest in yourself because you're the most important person, you know?
Yeah.
And if you don't invest yourself and if you don't do something for yourself, you can't, you can't be there for others anyway, you know? So, um, it just helps you see such a clear picture of who you really are. So this is the best thing that happened to me. I mean, I prayed before you came into the picture, Barry. So you were the answer to my prayers, you know?
Oh,
And you know what the funny thing is? Everything I had, every like I even last year when we were talking and I knew I wanted to have a beach wedding, I already bought like stuff for my feet for the beach and everything. And I'm like, oh, this I bought last year for my beach wedding. Everything is just coming true when you really believe it. Like I actually really, that's another thing about investing in yourself. You start to really believe that these things are possible. And then when they start happening, you're like, whoa, this is good.
this is good. That's right, because you learn how to change your foundation, not like this intellectual wishful thinking like so many of us have done by just maybe therapy or prayer. Rosella prayed and we came together and she had a plan. Right.
Yes, yes.
Oh,
And I also prayed. So when that night, that morning that I met Randy, I was also praying, and I said, you know, I know there's my soulmate is out there, and
that's right.
I know he's praying for me too. And guess what? He was praying for. He says he was praying for his soulmate. That's what he
Oh,
tells me. He goes, "You're my soulmate." That's what he tells me. He goes, "I'm
oh,
so blessed to have you."
it's so true. When things are right, they align, and then we talk about them because soulmates are really goal mates. And when people say to me, "Oh, I don't believe it. I don't believe it exists, or maybe it exists, but I don't know how to get there. I'm going to gear up to be alone." There is no reason to do that. There's no reason to be alone, but we need to create that clear path to finding your person. And then at the end, you have that. You have a conscious relationship and tools and skills to navigate and expand and grow a healthy relationship instead of
Yes.
creating from your childhood. Yeah.
Yes, yes. So
Yay.
yeah, so yeah, we're just so excited. So
Um,
there's a lot of planning, but you know what? If we don't feel no stress about it, people are like, "How are you gonna pull it off? You have like 6 weeks." I'm
so
like, "We're
what?
doing it. Everything is just falling on our lap."
Totally. Well, I can't wait to see it. I can't wait to see pictures and
Yes, yes,
support
yes,
you and
yes.
celebrate with you all the way there.
Yeah. Well, I am gonna try to see if I can get a Zoom on it, so this
Yay.
way, whoever can make it could watch it on Zoom.
Just like this.
Yes, yes.
Oh,
So I'm
exactly.
gonna look into that.
Oh, beautiful. Well, Rosella, I know we're all so happy for you and cheering for you that you should have just such a blessed life with him,
Yes,
right?
I feel so
And
blessed. I feel so, he's so amazing.
I
He's
see.
so
I see
amazing.
it. And it happened. So congratulations and keep us
Thank you.
posted on how
I
everything
will.
goes. Okay.
I
Mwah.
will. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye, bye.